In a world where aging feels like an invisible tide pulling everyone forward, the idea of intermittent fasting has become a beacon for those seeking not just longer life, but stronger years. Today, deep inside the most advanced longevity labs from MIT to the Buck Institute, researchers are finding that fasting triggers biochemical switches you were never told about, switches that can slow cellular aging and ignite repair systems your body has quietly kept dormant. As you hear this, imagine your metabolism clearing out damaged proteins, mitochondria reigniting their efficiency, and inflammation shrinking like a shadow fading at sunrise. This episode pulls back the curtain on what is myth, what is truth, and what scientists now confirm as the real path toward living longer and healthier. But the truth is deeper than slogans. Intermittent fasting isn't magic. It's biology awakened by timing, discipline, and a strategy thousands are using to reclaim control over their own longevity. To understand fasting, you first need to understand a process called autophagy, your body's built-in recycling system. Japanese biologist Yoshinori Ohsumi won a Nobel Prize for revealing how cells under the right conditions dismantle defective components and rebuild themselves with astonishing precision. During fasting windows, this internal cleanup accelerates. Damaged mitochondria are broken apart, misfolded proteins are eliminated, and deep metabolic recalibration begins. But modern food culture destroyed this rhythm, placing your body in constant digestion mode, blocking these rejuvenating mechanisms. And here lies the first truth backed by Harvard and Stanford research. Fasting doesn't give you energy by restricting food, it gives you energy by removing what drains you. The myth that fasting slows metabolism collapses under decades of metabolic science, showing that short-term fasting actually increases norepinephrine, heightening focus, alertness, and fat oxidation. But myths persist because fasting forces you to confront discomfort. The wellness industry profits from avoiding one of the loudest myths, claims that intermittent fasting destroys muscle mass. Yet advanced metabolic studies from the Pennington Biomedical Center reveal the opposite. Fasting enhances growth hormone peaks, enabling fat loss while preserving lean mass, especially when paired with resistance training. Another myth paints fasting as dangerous for women, but the truth is more nuanced. Women can fast safely when protocols respect hormonal cycles, especially avoiding extreme calorie deficits and choosing shorter fasting windows like 12 to 14 hours. What truly damages metabolism is chronic dieting, not fasting done strategically. And now the research is converging on a single reality. Fasting is less about eating less and more about aligning with the biological timing your ancestors lived naturally. Longevity science has shifted dramatically in the last decade. Not long ago, researchers focused almost obsessively on lifespan, how long you could stretch the human clock. But the paradigm has changed. Labs like the Longevity Biotechnology Foundation now prioritize healthspan, the years lived free of disease, inflammation, and degenerative decline. In these labs, fasting is being evaluated alongside senolytic drugs, NAD boosters, and metabolic therapies for its ability to reduce biological age, not by magic but through molecular pathways like a MPK activation, mTOR modulation, reduced IGF-1, and enhanced mitochondrial efficiency. These are not wellness buzzwords. They are the biochemical signatures of cells moving from survival mode to repair mode. And what stands out across studies is not whether fasting works, but which fasting pattern optimizes health span for the largest number of people. Here is where clarity matters. The 16-8 protocol is the most widely adopted, offering enough fasting time to trigger metabolic switching while remaining realistic long-term for individuals seeking deeper benefits like stem cell activation or insulin resetting. 24-hour fasts, once or twice weekly, have shown remarkable outcomes in clinical trials. But the legendary 72-hour fast, now studied at USC's Longevity Institute, has revealed regeneration effects in immune cells, something once believed impossible without pharmaceuticals. Yet these extended fasts require supervision and preparation. They are tools, not lifestyles. The biggest mistake people make is treating fasting as punishment, forcing windows that clash with their biology. Longevity isn't achieved through suffering, it is achieved through strategy, sustainability, and knowing how to use fasting as part of a broader metabolic ecosystem. One of the most underestimated aspects of fasting is its effect on inflammation. Chronic inflammation accelerates biological aging faster than almost any lifestyle factor, damaging tissues, altering hormones, and exhausting the immune system. Studies from the European Molecular Biology Laboratory demonstrate that fasting resets inflammatory gene expression, dropping systemic inflammation markers within hours. But the deeper transformation happens in the gut. Fasting allows the microbiome to rebalance, increases short-chain fatty acid production, and enhances gut barrier integrity, reducing conditions like fatigue, brain fog, and metabolic sluggishness. In the world of longevity, inflammation is the enemy behind the curtain. and fasting is one of the only interventions proven to reduce it naturally without relying on long-term medication. But fasting is not just biological, it is psychological. The modern world has normalized emotional eating, stress eating, and distraction eating. Fasting forces you to face these patterns, and once you do, something powerful happens. Dopamine receptors reset, cravings shrink, and decision-making tightens. High-performing individuals from Silicon Valley to elite research teams use fasting for mental clarity, not just metabolic health. The brain becomes sharper when glucose dips and ketones rise. In clinical neurobiology studies, ketones enhance synaptic function, stimulate BDNF production, and act as an energy source that stabilizes brain networks associated with focus, emotional regulation, and creativity. Fasting doesn't just extend life, it heightens the quality of every moment you live. Now imagine applying fasting not as a trend but as a lifestyle architecture. Combine it with strength training, sleep optimization, circadian lighting, high polyphenol foods, omega-3s out, and deep hydration, and you unlock what researchers now call the synergistic longevity effect. This is where healthspan expands dramatically, energy rises, inflammation falls, muscle density improves, and metabolic flexibility returns. Most people don't age because of years, they age because they lose the ability to switch between fuel sources, becoming metabolically rigid. Fasting restores this flexibility. It reteaches your body how to burn fat, stabilize glucose, and thrive without constant nutrient input. It is not a diet, it is metabolic literacy. And once you master it, your longevity stops being luck and becomes strategy. So what does this mean for you? It means that intermittent fasting can become the cornerstone of your longevity plan, but only if applied with precision. Begin with a manageable fasting window. Protect your sleep, avoid ultra-processed foods, prioritize protein during eating windows, and train your muscles to maintain insulin sensitivity. Track your energy, cognition, inflammation markers, and glucose stability. You are not just extending your life, you are extending the years in which you can move, create, love, build, and stay mentally sharp. Unlimited longevity is not a dream, it is a blueprint forged by the world's leading scientists and activated through your daily habits. As you reach the end of this episode, one truth stands above all: longevity is intentional. Intermittent fasting is not a miracle, but it is a tool so powerful that ignoring it means leaving years of vitality on the table. The science is clear, the data is growing, and the future of healthspan will be built on strategies like fasting that work with your biology, not against it. Let this be your turning point. Whether you are healing inflammation, reversing fatigue, optimizing performance, or simply fighting to age without decline, fasting can be the doorway to your next chapter. The choice is yours, and the path begins the moment you decide to reclaim your time, your energy, and your longevity.